When Star Wars first appeared on the big screen, the first sound that was heard was a big, bombastic chord, followed by this frenetic introduction that then moved into what became the iconic theme of Star Wars. Today, I'm going to break down that main theme and kind of explain some things that I think are pretty cool about it and break down some of the process of how this whole thing works. So let's dive into it. So I'm using a piano reduction, piano arrangement because, well, I don't happen to have a symphony orchestra just sitting around at my disposal. It'd be great, but I don't. So the first thing that you hear is this big, loud horns. Everything is going to be this big hit, right? And it's this big, loud B flat major chord. So you have, so that first measure is all just hanging out on B flat, right? And then you hear this melody continue on. Right? And so it's going on. The cool part of this is I've had students working on this week, and one of the things as I've explained this to them is really for that right hand melody part, it's just B flat, F, E flat, high F. So technically 3 notes, but really we can count it as 4 if we're counting both Fs individually. But it's just out of the range. Ta-da, there it is. Now, left hand really is kind of doing the same thing. Okay, so it changes just a little bit there, but it's not much different. And so you can kind of hear this. Well, here, so you notice here what's happening is the bass clef line. So it's kind of this back and forth, and that's really what happens in the orchestration is it's this intermingling of this whole melody being passed around for this short little bit in this fanfare. And then you get to, right, so there it is. There's the statement. Ba. So we're in the key of B flat major, and obviously we've got a lot of fun little borrowed things going on here that just really make this really cool. But you'll notice that in the first statement of the introduction here, the bass line is this. Right, so it's back and forth primarily between that F, which is the 5 of the chord, and B flat, which is the 1 of the key. And then you'll notice that that second statement where it comes back again, right? You get this walk down. So it's going like, it's got some really interesting things going on because, of course, you don't want to do the same thing again the second time. So that second time through, then we get to the second idea, right? So this is the B section. So we've got the fanfare at the beginning. That was the A section. That ba 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 bum bum ba da dum. That's the A section. We would call this the B section because it's the second. Now, one of the things that happens here, obviously tonality changes. And what I mean by tonality is it's lower and less intense, right? So you notice that everything at the beginning is loud. Now it's strings. Right? So all of a sudden, it's just a little bit more quieter, laid back, a little bit more legato as well. And you'll notice that this kind of has kind of this little bit more tension that comes in. right? Because the A section has a little bit more kind of like, hey, we're on the move, we're in marching, right? It's kind of the war idea. Star Wars, of course. But here, now, you notice how it just kind of hangs out, that bass line hangs out on the F. That E flat and the G clash with that F. So there's this conflict going on musically, but also, obviously in the movie, we know that there's a conflict because Darth Vader shows up on the scene. But that's the thing that's going on, right? And then we get to the second statement. Okay, there it is again. Still a little bit more movement. But it's still having that conflict going on. And then we get to this part, which I think is super cool. And now we go back to the A section again. But just something to deal with this. So what we've got going on here is you've got that moving down, moving up. So it's got this room coming together. Like the two sides of the fight are coming together. Yeah. And musically, this is what's happening. This is the thing I love about instrumental music. We have the opportunity to tell a story without using any words at all. You're using the music to tell the story. Now, of course, movie music, TV music as well, has an extra layer, just like with vocal music has an extra layer of words. This has the visual layer, and so it's connecting and making that impact with not only the music but also the visuals in front. So that's what we're seeing here as this happens. Then we get to another restatement of the A section. So there it is again. So basically two more restatements of that main theme with a little bit more of that marching bass line. Bum, 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 bum. And it really helps to just kind of give it that weight. And then we get to, we call this the C section, I would at least, because it's something completely different. So we have this. Sorry, my fingers didn't quite want to work on that. But we've got this walk up going on. This to me, it's kind of like this is the build up, right? This is because again, you get this. We've changed keys, by the way. So yeah. Right? So all of a sudden it's like, ooh, something's going on. You got the conflict. Right? That F clashes with the G because it's that G minor 7th chord there. There it is. You got that G clashing with the F and the A flat. Sorry. Then does it again. Right, so then we get to, this is the fun part. This is the thing that playing this on the piano is a great workout for your fingers. But the cool thing of this is, and this is where playing this on the piano is a fantastic workout, because what happens is the left hand pattern is not static. It's not steady in any way. So you have that. Sorry. So you can see how that's a great workout. Not only just that. 4-note pattern, but also then that how do I fit that rhythmically with everything else? It's a great coordination pattern practice. All right, now we finish up with so it ends just as it started with this big, bombastic exit, right? It enters big, ends big, and it sets the stage for what is to come in the movie. Thanks for checking out my breakdown of the song. Look for more over the course of the next month and more videos, as well as going to harmannymusiceducation.com and checking out my blog posts. Also, follow Harmony Music Education on Facebook and Instagram.